Marco Colbert, Speedokote Refinish Network. We got another one. We got a subscriber request. I would actually say a lot of you guys have been requesting this. A lot of you guys have been requesting, number one, more single stage paint jobs and more single stage black paint jobs. So we went ahead, we hopped in the old rollback. We found us this nice here 2012 Civic LX up in Liverpool, New York. Now it looks rough, but I got it for a good $1, and this is a one-owner car. It's the main reason I bought this car. This car, the guy bought it. I saw the original title. He bought it when he was 19 years old. It had 32 original miles on it. So, you know, one-owner car, good maintained. However, we got some problems. Now, a lot of you guys think I'm going to cut out some metal and... Well, it's metal in that. We're not. Got a little something new for you guys on this one. Have a crack in the bumper. Paint is literally just delaminated and gone almost everywhere. I mean, every panel. Fenders, hood, roof, quarter panels. The doors are the only thing that's decent. You might be able to buff that out, but we're not even going to try. Quarter panels, you know, these are pretty shot, but once again, we're gonna do some little magic on that. So that's it. That's the car. A lot of people ask me the question, you know, what are you seeing the car with like this? Typically speaking, 180, 320, 400. If you're going for single stage, stop at 400. If you're going for base coat, clear coat, up at 6, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take this thing over to the prep side and get it started. Alright guys, so we're coming down the home run stretch of all the body work and whatnot. Came out halfway decent. We're now putting on the SS2790B black primer from Speedokote. We're putting on the first coat kind of light, and we don't want to create any like crow's feet or reactions because we got a lot of different things going on. We got factory primer, we got a little bit of bare metal, we got body filler. So we're putting on the first coat, letting it fully dry up, harden up a little bit, and then we're putting on the second coat real wet. Now, once we sand this out with 320 and 400 and 600, this is going to give us a ridiculously smooth and flat foundation to work with. We're not going to block it. We're just going to flat sand it with a DA sander and get it as flat as we can. We mixed in just a little bit of reducer, and we're kind of trying to get this primer as flat as possible. That way it minimizes the amount of labor we have to do to get it smooth and ready for paint. But as you guys can see, with just a little bit of reducer,
This is a very smooth and flat-laying primer filler. I probably could scuff that with a scuff pad and paint right over it. Probably wouldn't look, half bad. But we're sanding it anyways. We do want to knock out the little bit of orange peel that there is in that primer. Now take a look at the left side and take a look at the right side. The right side is what you want your primer to look like, and the left side is not. Still has a lot of texture. Going to go ahead, pressure wash everything off. We do this every single paint job. If you ain't pressure washing your cars and sudsing them down real good before you paint them, I hate to say this, you ain't doing it right. This is just the fastest, the easiest, and the best way to get your car grease-free, grime-free, dust-free, and ready for paint. Now we're going to top off our cleaning with the Speedokote glass cleaner. This is right before paint. This will help ensure that your panels are 100% clean, just in case you miss anything with a pressure washer. After you wipe it down with that, take a tack cloth over it, and you are ready for paint. That's all you got to do.
So it is paint day. We're all ready. A lot of y'all in the past have criticized me. Oh, you should have taken this, you should have taken this apart. You should have. Listen, bro. Bumpers off, lights out. A little bit of the trim out. I mean, for a cheapo Dumbo job, we really tore this thing out. Oh, the bumper, all grill pieces out, everything apart. Got some serious organization going on here. Everything, all the parts are on this cart. Got the shop looking nice. We're not gonna primer seal the car. This is a cheap job. I'm doing this one for you guys, my fans. Trying to keep this as cheap as possible. Paint by itself is like around $100. Of course, all the prep and tape and the body filler and all that stuff probably added another 40 or 50 bucks or whatever. You got all this stuff sitting at home. You don't really factor it in. Go ahead, hit up these couple tiny little burn throughs and bare metal spots with the Speedokote 1K self-etching primer. And that's it. We're gonna start blasting with some paint. Guys, on the paint side.
All right, so we're getting the first coat down relatively good for a first coat. Now, I only filmed the first coat for you guys. Sometimes I only film the first coat and I just kind of put the camera down and I just finish up the job and really focus up. But the first coat, as you guys can see, is going very well. We started with the rear bumper. I always like to start with the smallest part of the car. in case I have any fish eyes or crazy crow's feet or issues or whatever. You never know what can happen in painting. So always start with the smallest part. Now, the 9705 single stage, how you have to apply it. You're going to have to apply this with a 1.3 to 1.4 tip gun, a decent amount of pressure, like probably about 18 psi to 20 psi. And you're going to want to apply this medium wet, almost leaning towards a full wet coat. Every single coat, from coat 1 to coat 3, or if you do 4 coats, you're going to have to put on every single coat, full wet, the way you would want it to look when you peel the tape. That's the trick with this paint. Some of our other paints and clear coats and finishes, sometimes you can just put them on kind of lazy and kind of dry and then come in with a second coat and pile it on and it looks good. However, this is not one of those paints. You got to put it on kind of wet from the get-go. So, we're getting that on. Sprayed it with the mirrors on. We're just kind of spraying around the mirrors. It's not a big deal. We do this all the time with our cheap little Dumbo Beep-Bop spray jobs. It's not an issue. As far as application of single stage, like I said, you just want to make sure that every single coat is, reasonably flat with minimal orange peel. Single stage is different from clear coat. Clear coat, you can get some orange peel and dry spots in your first coat of paint, and you can put on a second coat and it'll look okay. Single stage is a little bit less forgiving in that department. If you put on your first coat and it's got a bunch of orange peel in it, a bunch of dry spray, and that single stage dries up almost to the point where it's tack free and it's kind of set up. Well, any paint you put on top of that is going to have texture and orange peel as well, so keep that in mind. There you guys have it. Wraps it up for the 2012 Honda Civic, jet black. Super happy with how this thing came out for the very minimal money we put into it. Said it was a $100 paint job because we still actually have material left over even after doing 2 coats of paint on the whole car. Pretty wet coats, by the way. Still have material left over. So we still had about, 20 bucks worth of material left over, whatever. So $100 paint job. Obviously we had a little more money and we had to get some Fiberall Light to go ahead and fill all the holes and everything like that. So we had a little bit of money in that. If you already have all the other sandpapers and tape and fillers and tape, paper and all that other good stuff at home, you're just getting the paint, $100 paint job. Guys, look at these holes. That hood, almost undetectable. Okay, quarter panel, standing 5 feet back, almost undetectable. We pulled off some miracles on this one. I'm so unbelievably happy with this thing for the very semi-minimal effort we put into this thing. We did tear it down, we did take off the bumpers, we took off all the trim on the bumpers, we took the lights out. We did put a little bit of effort into it, but at the end of the day, this was still a beep-bop job, little Dumbo car job, and I mean, look at this thing. Look at, even the bumpers are just like, look at that, just ridiculously
glossy. I mean, it don't get better than this, guys. For around $100, it does not get better. Now, this is the, I think it's a 9705 single stage. If you guys get the SPK single stage, it will have just a little bit more gloss, and I'm not saying this ain't glossy. It'll lose this thing. This stuff will, you know, die back just a tiny bit. You might lose like 5% of your gloss without buffing. Now, if you're gonna buff it, no problem. If you want to put the extra labor into buffing it out, no problem. This car, am I gonna buff it? No. I mean, you know, are you gonna buff this? No. Most regular consumers are not going to buff this job. Mentioning this out there, those of you guys that want to spend the extra, you know, $30 or the $159.99 to get the SPK Jet Black, I have had slightly better results with that single stage. You don't even need to prime the car. We didn't prime the whole car. All we did was put a little spot paint, a little spot primer, the self-etching primer over the bare metal spots. That was it. We were ready. We put paint right over top of that. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. If you guys are looking for the best, most affordable, user-friendly auto body and detail products in the world, there's one place you need to go. www.speedokote.com. They have everything you guys need to get your projects done. Like, subscribe, new videos every week.